Arrival at the Intergalactic Academy. Introduction to a New World. Sarah Mitchell stood on the observation deck of a sleek spacecraft, gazing out at a tapestry of stars that sparkled like diamonds against a velvet backdrop. At just 9 years old, she was about to embark on an adventure that would change her life forever. As the ship glided through space, she felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. She was not just traveling to another planet. She was heading to the Intergalactic Academy, a prestigious institution known for nurturing brilliant minds from across the universe. The Academy was renowned for its rigorous academic programs, attracting students from countless species, each more extraordinary than the last. As a human girl, Sarah felt small compared to her towering alien peers, yet she was determined to prove herself in this new world. First impressions. Upon arrival, she was greeted by a breathtaking sight. A massive floating city orbiting a distant star, shimmering in hues of blue and green. Towering spires reached toward the heavens, connected by glowing bridges that pulsed with energy. This was not just an educational facility, it was a marvel of engineering, designed to accommodate beings who experience time and gravity differently. As she stepped off the shuttle, an overwhelming sense of awe washed over her. She was surrounded by students of all shapes and sizes, some with scales, others with fur or feathers, each one engaged in animated discussions or hurriedly moving toward their next class. Sarah felt a pang of homesickness, but quickly pushed it aside. This was her chance to shine. Meeting Professor Zeror, her first day began in a large circular classroom, filled with an air of anticipation. Students whispered among themselves as they awaited the arrival of Professor Zeror, head of the Thirk faculty, a race known for their unparalleled intellect and sharp reflexes. Standing over 7 feet tall with sleek silver fur and piercing yellow eyes, he commanded respect as he entered the room. "Welcome," he growled in a low rumble that resonated through the hall. "Today we will prepare for the Galactic Puzzle Tournament." His words hung in the air like an electric charge, igniting excitement among students eager to prove their skills. Sarah listened intently as he explained that this tournament was not merely about solving puzzles. It was a test of mental acuity under immense pressure. Only those who could think quickly while maintaining focus would succeed. A test like no other. As Professor Zeror presented holographic puzzles that floated before them, multi-dimensional structures requiring manipulation, Sarah felt both nervousness and exhilaration. She watched as her classmates tackled these challenges, their hands moving swiftly over controls designed for their unique physiology. When it was her turn, she stepped forward hesitantly. The puzzle before her appeared chaotic, a tangle of glowing lines shifting erratically. But instead of feeling overwhelmed, Sarah focused intently on it. To her surprise, she began to see patterns emerge where others saw confusion. With each twist and turn, she manipulated the puzzle with precision. Within moments, it snapped into place, forming a perfect geometric design. A stunned silence enveloped the room before murmurs erupted among her classmates. "Impressive," Professor Zeror remarked, his voice tinged with unexpected admiration. "But remember, this is only the beginning." Facing doubts, as days turned into weeks leading up to the tournament, Sarah dedicated herself to honing her skills. She spent hours in the Academy's vast library studying ancient texts on logic puzzles, while practicing on advanced simulators designed for alien species. However, with newfound attention came scrutiny. Some students approached her out of curiosity. Others viewed her as a threat or an oddity to be mocked. One day while leaving the library, she encountered a group from the Zala race, known for their telepathic abilities, who confronted her in an intimidating manner. "So you're the human everyone's talking about," sneered their leader, a tall boy with sharp features. "Think you can compete with us?" "I'm just trying to learn," Sarah replied calmly but firmly. The boy laughed derisively. "You don't belong here." Despite feeling anger rise within her, she maintained composure. "We'll see who belongs when the tournament comes." Determination amidst challenges. The day of the Galactic Puzzle Tournament arrived faster than expected. The entire academy buzzed with excitement as students gathered in anticipation within a grand hall, adorned with holographic displays showcasing various puzzles. As Sarah entered this magnificent chamber filled with competitors representing different species, nerves threatened to overwhelm her again. Yet determination surged within. She had come too far to turn back now. The tournament rules were simple. Solve each puzzle as quickly as possible to advance through rounds until only one student remained standing as champion. With each puzzle presented, glowing cubes spinning in midair or intricate geometric shapes shifting before them, Sarah found herself in a rhythm that felt almost instinctual. Her mind raced as she tackled each challenge head-on, fueled by both fear and exhilaration. Conclusion. As she navigated through round after round successfully, whispers grew around her. A mix of awe and disbelief echoed among spectators witnessing this small human girl defy expectations in an arena dominated by towering aliens. Little did they know that this was just the beginning for Sarah Mitchell, a journey filled with challenges that would test not only her intellect, but also her resilience against those who would seek to undermine her success in this strange new world, where she fought not just for victory, but for acceptance among giants. The challenge begins. A new day at the Academy. The sun rose over the Intergalactic Academy, casting a soft glow through the vast windows of Sarah's dorm room. She awoke with a mix of excitement and anxiety, her heart racing at the thought of what lay ahead. Today marked the beginning of her formal training, and she was determined to make the most of it. As she dressed, she glanced at a small photo of her family back on Earth, their smiling faces a reminder of why she was here, to prove that even a human girl could thrive among the stars. After a quick breakfast in the Academy's bustling cafeteria, where students from various species mingled and shared stories, Sarah made her way to her first class. The hallways buzzed with energy, filled with laughter and chatter in a myriad of languages. She felt both exhilarated and intimidated. Everyone seemed to know each other, while she was still trying to find her footing. The classroom dynamics. Entering the circular classroom, Sarah took a deep breath and surveyed her peers. She was surrounded by towering figures with vibrant scales, fur, and feathers, each one unique and extraordinary. As she settled into her seat, she noticed some curious glances directed her way, mixed with skepticism. It was clear that her presence as the only human student was both intriguing and unsettling for many. Professor Zeror entered the room with his characteristic grace, his silver fur glinting under the lights. He wasted no time in diving into the day's lesson. Today, he announced in his deep rumble, we will begin our intensive training for the Galactic Puzzle Tournament. His words hung in the air like an electric charge. Sarah felt a thrill run through her. This was what she had been waiting for. The professor explained that they would be working on various types of puzzles designed to test their cognitive abilities under pressure. The stakes were high, and only those who could think quickly while maintaining focus would succeed. First impressions of training. As Professor Zeror introduced the first puzzle, a holographic cube that twisted and turned in midair, Sarah watched intently. The cube was covered with intricate patterns that shifted with every movement. Her classmates sprang into action, their hands flying over controls as they attempted to solve it. When it was Sarah's turn, she stepped forward with determination. The cube hovered before her like a living entity, its patterns swirling chaotically. Taking a deep breath, she focused on finding the underlying logic. To her surprise, she began to see connections where others saw confusion. With swift movements, Sarah manipulated the cube's surfaces until it snapped into place. A moment of silence followed before a murmur of surprise rippled through the room. Even Professor Zeror raised an eyebrow, an unusual display of emotion from him. "Well done," he said, his voice tinged with admiration. "But remember, this is just practice. Building relationships." As days turned into weeks leading up to the tournament, Sarah dedicated herself to honing her skills. She spent hours in the Academy's vast library studying ancient texts on logic puzzles, while practicing on advanced simulators designed for alien species. Her hard work began to pay off. She found herself solving puzzles faster than ever before. However, with newfound attention came scrutiny. Some students approached her out of curiosity about this human girl who seemed to possess extraordinary abilities, while others viewed her as a threat or curiosity to be mocked. One day during lunch, Sarah sat alone at a table when there approached her a reptilian humanoid from Trellis 9 who had been one of the few students to treat her kindly since her arrival. "Mind if I join you?" he asked, his deep green scales shimmering under the cafeteria lights. "Of course," Sarah replied gratefully. As they ate together, Thar shared stories about life on his home planet, its marshy landscapes and unique creatures, and Sarah felt herself relax for the first time since arriving at the academy. Facing hostility. However, not all interactions were pleasant. One afternoon as Sarah was leaving the library, she encountered a group from the Zala race, a species known for their telepathic abilities and physical prowess. Their leader stepped forward, blocking her path. "So you're the human everyone's talking about," he sneered. "Think you're so smart." "I'm just trying to learn," Sarah replied calmly but firmly. The boy laughed derisively. "Learning? You think you can compete with us? You're nothing but a weak little human." Sarah felt anger rise within her, but forced herself to stay calm. "I may be human," she said defiantly, "but that doesn't mean I can't keep up." The boy's eyes narrowed as he smirked at her response. "We'll see who's right when the tournament comes." As they walked away laughing, Sarah felt a knot tighten in her stomach. She knew she had to stay focused and prove them wrong. Preparation intensifies. The days flew by as Sarah immersed herself in preparation for the tournament. Each class brought new challenges, complex puzzles that tested not only her intellect, but also her ability to remain calm under pressure. Professor Zerwer pushed them harder each day. He expected nothing less than excellence from his students. With each puzzle solved, Sarah's confidence grew alongside whispers of admiration from some classmates who began to recognize her talent. Yet there remained those who viewed her success as an affront to their superiority, a challenge they were unwilling to accept. Sarah could feel their eyes on her during training sessions. Their hostility simmered just beneath the surface. One evening after an intense day of practice, Thar found Sarah sitting alone in one of the academy's quiet gardens, a serene space filled with exotic plants from across galaxies. "You okay?" he asked gently as he joined her on a bench beneath a glowing tree that pulsed softly with light. "I'm just tired," Sarah admitted with a sigh. "It feels like I'm constantly being washed." Thar nodded knowingly. "You've stirred things up here. Not everyone appreciates change." "What do you mean?" she asked curiously. "The academy has its politics," he explained cautiously. "Winning this tournament could put you in danger if others see you as a threat." A growing sense of unease. As tournament day approached, Sarah couldn't shake off Thar's warning, or the feeling that something deeper lurked beneath the surface of the academy. She had come here to learn and grow, but now faced challenges beyond mere puzzles. On tournament eve, she lay awake in bed, staring out at the stars twinkling against an endless expanse of darkness. The same stars that had once filled her with wonder now seemed distant and foreboding. What awaited her in this grand competition? Would she truly be able to prove herself among giants? As sleep finally claimed her amidst swirling thoughts and doubts, one thing remained clear. Tomorrow would be more than just another test. It would be a defining moment in her journey through this extraordinary world where intellect clashed with tradition, and where every choice could alter not just her fate, but potentially reshape perceptions about humans forever. Conclusion. With determination coursing through her veins like fire igniting within a furnace, Sarah resolved that no matter what awaited in tomorrow's tournament, she would face it head-on without fear or hesitation. After all, being underestimated could become an advantage if wielded wisely. Perhaps this little human girl had more surprises left in store than anyone could imagine, even herself. Rising tensions. The calm before the storm. As the days passed after Sarah's stunning victory in the Galactic Puzzle Tournament, she found herself in a whirlwind of attention. Students approached her with a mix of admiration and curiosity, Eager to learn from the girl who had defied expectations, Sarah reveled in this newfound recognition. It felt good to be seen as more than just a human girl among giants. Yet beneath the surface of this excitement lay an undercurrent of tension that was impossible to ignore. The academy buzzed with rumors and whispers. Some students congratulated her, while others shot her envious glances. Sarah sensed a shift in the atmosphere. Not everyone was pleased with her success. She had become a focal point of intrigue, and with that came a sense of danger. Unwelcome attention. One afternoon, as Sarah practiced in the holographic puzzle room, she noticed a group of Zala students lingering near the entrance. Their leader, the tall boy who had confronted her before, watched her intently with narrowed eyes. His friends exchanged hushed words, occasionally glancing her way. A chill ran down Sarah's spine. She could feel their hostility like a weight pressing down on her. "Don't let them get to you," Thar said softly as he joined her at the console. "They're just jealous." "I know," Sarah replied, trying to sound confident, "but it's hard not to feel their eyes on me." Thar nodded knowingly. "You've stirred something up here." Winning that tournament was more than just a game. It challenged their beliefs about humans. Sarah couldn't shake off the feeling that she was walking a tightrope. The academy was not just a place of learning. It was steeped in tradition and rivalry. By winning, she had inadvertently disrupted an unspoken order that many were not ready to confront. The growing divide. As weeks turned into days, Sarah's training intensified. Professor Zerer pushed them harder, introducing more complex puzzles designed to test their mental acuity and adaptability. Each lesson felt like a battle, and Sarah was determined to keep up with her alien classmates. However, she began to notice a divide forming within the student body. Some students rallied around her, eager to support their unexpected champion, while others formed alliances against her. The Zala group became increasingly vocal in their disdain for her presence at the academy. During one particularly challenging class focused on multi-dimensional puzzles, Sarah overheard snippets of conversation from nearby students. "Why should we even compete against a human?" one Zala girl scoffed. "Yeah, it's embarrassing," another chimed in. Sarah clenched her fists but forced herself to focus on the puzzle before her. She couldn't afford to let their negativity distract her. She had come too far to back down now. A warning from Thar. One evening after class, Thar caught up with Sarah as they walked through the dimly lit corridors of the academy. "Sarah," he began cautiously, "I think you should be careful." "Careful? Why?" she asked, puzzled. "There are whispers, rumors about some students wanting to make an example of you," Thar replied, his tone serious. "They don't like what you represent." "What do you mean?" Sarah felt her heart race at his words. "You've shown that humans can compete at this level," Thar explained. "But some see that as a threat to their status here. They might try to undermine you during training or even sabotage your chances in future competitions." Sarah's stomach dropped at the thought. "You think they would go that far?" "I wouldn't put it past them," Thar said grimly. "Just keep your head down and stay alert." The tension peaks. The next few days were fraught with tension as Sarah navigated through classes filled with hostile glares and whispered insults from certain groups. While she tried to maintain her focus on puzzles and studies, it became increasingly difficult when every glance felt like an accusation. One afternoon during a particularly intense training session, Sarah noticed that some of her equipment had been tampered with. Controls were misaligned and settings altered just enough to throw off her concentration during practice puzzles. It was clear someone was trying to sabotage her efforts. "Thar," she exclaimed after class, rushing over to him as he exited the training room. "Someone messed with my equipment. I can't believe this is happening." Thar's expression darkened. "I told you to be careful. This is exactly what I meant." "What should I do?" Sarah asked desperately. "Document everything," Thar advised firmly. "If things escalate, you'll need evidence that something is wrong here." A growing resolve. Determined not to let fear dictate her actions, Sarah took Thar's advice seriously. She began keeping notes on any strange occurrences, equipment malfunctions, odd glances from certain students, and any comments made about her during training sessions. Despite the mounting pressure around her, she doubled down on her studies and practice sessions. Each day became an exercise in resilience as she pushed herself harder than ever before. In one particularly intense session focused on logic puzzles involving spatial reasoning, Sarah found herself lost in thought as she manipulated holographic shapes floating before her. With each successful solution she achieved, she felt a surge of confidence wash over her, a reminder that she belonged here despite what others thought. The final straw. However, one fateful day during practice took things too far. As Sarah worked diligently on a complex puzzle involving shifting geometric shapes, she suddenly felt something cold and slimy brush against her leg from behind. Startled, she turned around only to find one of the Zala boys smirking at her. "Oops, didn't see you there," he taunted mockingly before retreating back into the shadows with his friends laughing behind him. Fury bubbled within Sarah as she realized they were trying to intimidate her physically now, not just mentally or emotionally. "That's it," she shouted after them, but received only laughter in return as they disappeared down the corridor. Confronting her fears, fueled by anger and frustration, Sarah sought out Professor Zeror after class that day. She needed guidance, someone who could help navigate this increasingly hostile environment. "Professor Zeror," she began hesitantly as he reviewed some holographic materials in his office later that afternoon. "I need your advice." He looked up at her with piercing yellow eyes, filled with curiosity, but also concern. "What troubles you, young one?" "I feel like I'm being targeted by some students because of my victory in the tournament," Sarah admitted bluntly. Zeror regarded her thoughtfully for a moment before responding carefully. "Competition can breed envy among those who fear change." "But what should I do?" she pressed urgently. "You must stand firm in your resolve," he advised firmly yet gently. "Prove them wrong through your actions rather than words alone." Conclusion: finding strength within. With renewed determination coursing through her veins like fire igniting within a furnace once again, Sarah resolved not only to face these challenges head-on, but also embrace them as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles blocking her path forward. She returned home that evening feeling both empowered yet anxious about what lay ahead, but one thing was clear: no matter how many obstacles stood between herself and success at this prestigious academy, she would rise above them all. After all, she wasn't just fighting for herself. She was fighting for every human who dared dream beyond their limits amid stars shining brightly overhead.